So, we are about to crack open one of the biggest books ever written, Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace. And we're going to start right at the beginning by unpacking the incredible social drama of just a single evening. An evening that, believe me, sets the stage for everything that's to come. All right, let's set the scene. It's July 1805. We're in St. Petersburg, the absolute glittering capital of the Russian Empire. And all across Europe, Napoleon Bonaparte is on the move, literally redrawing the map. So, you can just imagine, here in the highest circles of society, the air is thick with tension, and everyone can feel this war is coming. And Tolstoy, he just throws us right into the deep end. These are pretty much the first words of the entire book, spoken by our hostess, Anna Pavlovna Scherer. There's no gentle build-up, right? The stakes are clear from the very first sentence. This isn't just polite small talk.
Now, officially, the topic of conversation is the war with Napoleon, who the hostess keeps calling the Antichrist. But Tolstoy is already showing us that there's another kind of war being fought, right here in this fancy drawing room. And that's the big question for tonight. What are these people really fighting for?
Okay, so let's dive into this social battlefield. We are at a soiree, a fancy evening party, hosted by Anna Pavlovna, and she's a maid of honor to the Empress, so this is a big deal. This isn't just any party. You've got to think of it as the nerve center of Petersburg society. This is where reputations are made, deals are struck, and the entire political temperature of the empire is taken.
And to really get what's going on, you have to understand the rules of this world. It is a society where the absolute top tier, the elite, they all speak French to each other, not Russian. Every little gesture, every word, every smile, it's all part of this elaborate performance. Your social survival, it literally depends on playing your part perfectly.
And our hostess, Anna Pavlovna, she is the master operator of this whole social engine. Tolstoy describes her like she's a foreman in a factory, moving from group to group, making sure this conversational machine runs without a single glitch. So she's not just a hostess, she's a conductor, keeping everything in this perfect and, well, totally artificial harmony. So, as the guests start to trickle in, Tolstoy introduces us to the key players, and each one of them represents a totally different part of this complicated world. First up, we've got Prince Vasily Kuragin. This guy is a big shot, high rank, very important, a total fixture at court. Think of him as the ultimate insider. He is the establishment. But Tolstoy gives us this perfect line. He tells us that Prince Vasily's whole refined manner, it's just a performance. It's a role he's played so many times that he's actually become bored by it. He's basically on social autopilot. So why is a guy like this really here? It is definitely not to talk about Napoleon. Nope. He's here to do business. He's working all the angles, trying to secure a sweet job for one son, find a rich wife for his other, more problematic son, and even repaying a social debt. For him, every single conversation is a transaction. And then, stumbling into this perfectly calibrated machine is Pierre Bezukhov. He is the large, awkward, illegitimate son of a very wealthy count, and he is a total misfit. He just got back from being educated abroad, so he doesn't get the rules of this game at all. He is our outsider. And finally, Prince Andrew Bolkonsky walks in. He's handsome, he's intelligent, and he's an insider who knows the game all too well. And he is just completely and utterly bored by it. He finds everyone, including his own very lively wife, just incredibly tiresome. More than anything, he's just looking for a way out. So, with all of our main players assembled, the main event can begin, the official, public discussion about the great political drama of the day. And here we see that public performance in full swing. Anna Pavlovna launches into this fiery, super patriotic speech about Russia's divine mission, how virtuous the emperor is, and how they all need to crush Napoleon, who she calls the Hydra of Revolution. It's eloquent, it's passionate, and it's exactly what everyone expects to hear. But while that grand speech is happening in the center of the room, let's kind of lean in and listen to the real conversations happening over in the corners. This is Prince Vasily talking to Anna Pavlovna about marrying off his son. Forget saving Europe. He wants what is basically a financial merger. He just comes right out and says it. She is rich and of good family, and that's all I want. It is so blunt, so pragmatic, and completely self-serving. And this right here, This is the stark contrast at the very heart of the evening. On the surface, the talk is all about these noble ideas, right? Saving Europe, duty, crushing a tyrant. But underneath it all, the private dealings are about cold, hard, personal gain. Jobs, money, and climbing the social ladder. This is the central hypocrisy that Tolstoy wants us to see. Now, this delicate balance between public posturing and private scheming, it is incredibly fragile. And Tolstoy is about to show us exactly what happens when somebody breaks the rules. So what happens when our outsider, Pierre, who just doesn't understand that this is all a performance, makes the massive mistake of actually being sincere? He defends Napoleon. Just after everyone has condemned Napoleon as a murderer and a villain, Pierre stands up and argues that one of his most infamous acts, an execution, was not only necessary but actually showed greatness of soul. And just like that, the conversational machine screeches to a dead halt. The reaction is just instant shock. The whole room freezes. Anna Pavlovna is so terrified that she switches back to French, whispering, "My God, my God." It's like the native tongue of our artificial world. You see, Pierre hasn't just disagreed with them politically. He has committed the ultimate social sin. He was authentic in a world that runs entirely on artifice. So, after that social explosion, the party ends pretty quickly. And it's in the quiet moments that follow, away from all the watchful eyes of the salon, that we finally get to hear an honest conversation. Pierre asks his friend Prince Andrew a really simple question. Well, why are you going to the war? And Prince Andrew's answer just cuts through all that patriotic nonsense we heard earlier. He says, "I am going because the life I am leading here does not suit me." For him, a real war against Napoleon is just an escape from the fake war of this drawing room. And this leaves us with Tolstoy's really provocative opening argument. In a society that is built on performance and hidden agendas, he forces us to ask this pretty startling question. In a world like this, is the brutal, violent honesty of a battlefield somehow more real, more honest, than the suffocating hypocrisy of so-called peace?